All right, Kenman here, and I've got an assortment of knives out on the table today. Kind of an interesting variety. Anyone have any thoughts on why I would put this particular set of knives that I've got out before us today? Well, I've got a little unboxing that's going to do a little reveal for it, but go ahead and mill it around your head a little bit, see if you can come up with something. Before we start, not sponsored by anyone. I purchase everything at retail price, and I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. So I am going to get all of these out of our way for a minute. We can bring a lot of them back when we start talking about what my intentions are. But yeah, new projects on the horizon here. New little KDK idea. If you've been watching some of the lives or anything, you might have an idea of what is going on. If you haven't watched any of my lives, I'm live on Thursday nights, 6 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to check one out right up there. But I got this package from my good friend Jimmy Crow. I kind of taped up, covered up the addresses here. It looks like this is the top. But I was talking to him about my new project ideas, and he does some cool stuff on his own. And sent me some things. Let me sneak a peek here, make sure there isn't like a... Alright, we're good to go. Sometimes, oh, here's a little note with an address or, paper wads on the floor. There they are. More paper. Look at these. Okay. What? Box on the floor. I don't see a knife, Kenman. What is going on? Nope. He did not send me a knife. He sent me these. What are these? These are chunks of wood. So, long story short, big reveal, whatever. I got a CNC machine. For those of you who do not know what that is, it's a machine that I'm going to be able to take one of these pieces of wood and put it on there, and it's going to cut it and turn it into a knife scale. So I'm going to turn these into handles for some knives. All those knives that were out were potential candidates and thoughts and ideas that I've got. Exciting. I have not really worked with a CNC machine before, but I do know SolidWorks, and I've done 3D printing and rendering and making vector files and creating images and doing a lot of work making things for the laser marker. So a lot of that's going to translate over to the software and the setups. But yeah, so we've got these matching pieces of wood. I can't remember what he said they were exactly. I should have taken notes. Ooh, look at that. But he had these extra pieces and said, hey, I got the new machine. I'm going to need to be doing some tests and things. Yeah, why am I tearing? I have knives somewhere, right? And this would be some materials that he had that he offered to send to me to use as some tests to kind of get familiar with the machine and see how it works and see what I can kind of come up with. And I know, like right now, I don't have anything. I need to go online and buy some materials, but I'd like to get some more, ooh, I like that, chunks of wood and pieces of like G10 and micarta and Ultim even. The machine says that it will do aluminum, but I know that that's going to be, some of the harder materials, and some of these woods, I don't know if they might be the best to start with. I might need to go get some softer woods or some softer. I'll look into it, which the best, easiest material is for cutting. Something else that we want to look at is types of knives. I had all those knives out. A lot of them generally, like this one, for example, I think is going to be a good one because the scales are flat, completely flat. The liners are not recessed. So there's one side that's basically flat, and then the rest is just shaped out of the top. So then you really only have to do a one-sided type of a cut. I grabbed these two knives because they're both fun and cute and little, but so you can see the comparison. So this one over here, the liner is not recessed. You've got that steel liner, and you can see the scale is sitting on top of it. Versus this one here also has them, but they are inside there. Can't really see inside there. I apologize. I thought I could kind of see it with the lighting, but maybe not. But these liners go inside and then are recessed. And so the inside of that scale is carved out versus this one is just flat on the bottom. So one of them would require you to, carve out the one side, then flip it over and then carve out the other side. That, I'm not saying that's something I won't be able to do, but for now, easier setups, kind of like the leeb, where the leeb is flat on that bottom. There isn't even, because it's a button lock, there's no little groove cut on this side. Because often if you've got just like a liner lock, like this one here, you can see right by my thumb, there is a little notch that's cut. And so there's this little section right here so that when you push that liner lock over, it has a little bit further space to travel for the lock versus this button lock doesn't. So these two scales are basically completely flat on the inside, and then you just have to shape the top. So I can then affix this down on the table and use the machine to completely fabricate that top surface. Make sense? Another one would be the yeah, the Civivi Vision FG. It also, because it's got the super lock on the back, you can see the liners inside there are flat and they are not recessed in. So essentially all the cutting and shaping of this would be flat on the bottom and then just a curve on the top, so a little bit easier to create. Those are the ones that I kind of want to start with. Getting into the more advanced things where you have extra little cutouts, like this one's got that cutout right there, and you can see the black liners are inside of this lander, and so the scales are completely carved out on the inside and the outside, so that would require a multi-step and having to make sure the machine is very well calibrated so that when you do it and you flip it over, that lines it up correctly. A little bit more work, something like I said, I would like to get into it at some point. You guys enjoy these videos, like the custom stuff, hit the like button, subscribe if you'd like to see more. But yeah, so I got these wood pieces. I do have a lot of, here's another one that Migeron I think might be a good candidate, but it does have that little notch cut out. You can see right by my thumb there. So that creates a little bit more work. Some of the stuff I could do on like a mill or something, because I do have a mill that access to it, and I also have a good drill press that you could go in and get the piece and kind of just mill out that little bit of a section. So it wouldn't be that hard to kind of do that, but I want to try to start off simple, see what I can get going with the machine, and then kind of go from there and develop it. And should be a lot of fun. I don't know. What does everyone think about it? Anyone have a CNC machine? Have some background with it? Have some ideas or thoughts for me? What knives would you recommend that would be fun to do, like of those ones that I had out? I definitely think that some of the Kaisers I have that have some of these liners that are not recessed would be some fun ones to do. But I'm trying not to limit myself. I want to do some Ultim, like on this Titius. The Ultim is really cool, and I think it might be a material that the machine should work well with. I'm going to have to look into some bits, different bits that they offer. You will need for specific material. Some material would be harder or softer, might require a different tip or a different cut requirement. I'm looking for stuff. I can't even find it. But yeah, what's everyone think about this new project? Oh, that was what I wanted to talk about, is like the Lander and the Lander 2. They are open source files. So the cool thing about that is because it's open source, I have the file for it. So I can upload that file and I can use it, and I could actually put it into, I don't know how the software and the programs and stuff will line up, but it will be significantly easier, because without it, you have to kind of design it on your own. The machine doesn't know what to do, and without an actual file that you'd have to create. So a lot of these, if you were going to be programming it, you could program it to do lines and patterns on it. But if you wanted to actually have it cut the entire thing out, you would need to program that or have the files for it, which is something that I don't have the access to all the things. But there are some scanner type equipment and things that you can do, that you can create the files, or you can get a 3D scan image of it and make it work, or you just you make them and then you test it and it doesn't fit here and it does fit there, and then you sand it down and you try it again, and then you figure out what you need to change in the file and the program. It's interesting. I don't know. What's everyone think about it? Let me know below. Boom. Kaiser Lieb I did with that weathered die. I think it would be a good candidate because it is so flat and it's such a simple design that it would be a good thing to start with. If you haven't seen that die project, you should check it out up here. Lots of custom stuff on the channel. I'm excited to get going with this CNC. Stay sharp. See you soon.